This is problem 1.43 from Francois Tardieu's Backgammon Strategic Concepts book from chapter 1. Here's the position. We're blue. We rolled a 6-4. Our home board is in the bottom right. We'll look at 3 of the top moves, figure out which one is best. I'll give you my quick observations on each move, some of Tardieu's key points, Tardieu's expert analysis with feedback from XG, Tardieu's summary, and at the end of the video, I'll modify the position, which brings up a couple of questions. Here's the first possible move, running one checker from the 21 point to the 11 point, like this. Brings a 10th checker to our side of the board, which is also a builder. Runs the back checker from a direct shot to an indirect shot. Leaves 3 blots over the board, both sides of the board. Races when the score is very close. We'll have a 7-pip lead after the roll. It's still very close when the average rolls 8. Pretty much a tie game. Here, the second move is we run and cover our 9 point, 21, 15, 13, 9, like this. This makes our 9 point, which is a point that strengthens our structure. Covers up the blot on our 9 point. Brings the 10th checker to our side of the board. Distracts white from making an inner board point. He might have to focus here on this point if he can hit with a 3 instead of making a good inner board point. Duplicates some of white's good 3s. Breaks our communication from our back checkers, between our back checkers. Here, they're before the roll, they're 3 apart. After the roll, they're 9 apart. Third possible move is to hit on our 2 point and make a point there and send white to the bar, called pointing on head. It makes a point in our home board, but it's a deep point, the 2 point. It does unstack our 6 point. It breaks our 8 point, sends white to the bar, and takes away half of their next roll. You're going to have to take one of the dice to come in and the other one to move. We're blitzing with 9 checkers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Michi, a very good backgammon player, says if we're going to blitz, 10 is ideal, at least 10. 8, we shouldn't. 8 checkers in the zone, we shouldn't blitz. 9 is right in the middle there. Debatable. We've got 9. Here are the 3 final boards. Compare the features of each board, like the pip count, the strength of each player's board, and the threats facing each player. See what and think of which one looks best to you when you would play if you were white. Quick recap. Here's the first move. We run one of our checkers from the 21 to the 11 before and after. The second possible move, running from the 21 to the 15 and covering our 9, 13, 9, before and after. And the third possible move, pointing on head, 8, 2, 6, 2, before and after. Some of Tardieu's key points. White has no blots, just these 2 split checkers in the back here. They're vulnerable. And their distribution is good. At this early stage, it's usually not a good idea for us to sacrifice our 8-point to make a deep inner point. We normally like to make shallow innerboard points like the 3, 4, and 5 before making the deep innerboard points like the 1 and the 2. We generally don't like breaking our 8-point. We always like unstacking our heavy 6-point if we can, if it makes sense. The 9-point is a helpful structural point. Helps our structure, if we can make it. Making the 9-point gives us 4 points in a natural prime. The 5, the 6, the 8, and the 9. Let's see what Tardieu and XG say. For the move where we're running one of our back checkers, 21 to 11, or even 24 to 14, they're both about the same. Running a checker, one of our back checkers, 10 points or 10 pips, leaves too many blots around the board and does not help our structure. You can say that for both the 21 to 11 move or the 24 to 14 move. They're both about rated the same. Making a point and hitting white on the 2 only makes sense if white does not come in against our 3-point board. And even if white does dance and doesn't come in, they will still be able to accept a double if we double them. The race is still about even. White has no blots hanging around, and their distribution is good. We don't have enough men forward on the bottom here to cover and close out our inner board. All of white's entering numbers play well. At this early stage, we're sacrificing our 8-point for a very impure, weak home board, 2, 5, and 6. XG and Tardieu both like running 21 to 15 and covering the 9, 13 to 9. This play takes our blot out from under the gun in the 21 point and secures a good structural point in the 9 point. This gives us 4 points in a natural prime and removes the threat of indirect shots, which would have allowed white to run out with tempo. We didn't cover this 9. White could have hit us with an indirect shot and had good timing. Even better, some of white's shots are duplicated, like 2-1, 3-2, 3-1, and 4-3, which can be used to hit us or also could have been used to build an innerboard point. And also 3-2, white will have to choose between making their 21 point, our 4 point, or hitting us. Tardieu summary: when you have the option to execute a blitz style play, like making the 2 point here, 8-2, 6-2, make sure you weigh your chances of success against your position and structure if your attack fails. Ideally, you want to preserve a flexible structure in the event your opponents survive the blitz, which is why I made the modification here. For the modification, I took one of the checkers that was on the midpoint here, brought it down to the 8-point. When I do that, when we shift a checker from our midpoint to our 8-point, we should blitz now and make the 2-point, according to XG. I believe this is because we now have 10 checkers in the zone, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we will not need to break our 8-point in order to hit. I think I'm interpreting this correctly, but I might be missing something. Let me know if you agree or not, if you have a question or comment. All feedback is welcome. Make sure to check out Alex Eshaghian's excellent review of Tardieu's book, as well as Sunny Florida Backgammon Club's informative series of lessons on Tardieu's book.